Alright, so hey guys, Blood Moon Bobby here. No intro for this video because I figured that since Star vs. the Forces of Evil has come to an end, and since we're in the month of May, we're almost halfway through the year already, I figured that this would actually be a really good opportunity for me to do a sort of midway through the year video in terms of talking about my plans going forward and things that I want to improve and just clearing some things up, you know what I'm saying? So here we go with this video. So I think as you could tell from my channel name Blood Moon Bobby, one of the reasons why I wanted to rebrand the channel into what it is today is because I wanted to get into Star vs. the Forces of Evil and review the episodes and do it honestly. You know, if I like the episodes, I'll talk about what I liked. If I didn't like the episodes, I'll be upfront with you guys. And that was one of the reasons why the channel got the name it has, and that was why I wanted my sis to design the logo that it has. But now that the show is over and I saw the final episode last night, and I won't be getting into anything about the episode in this video because I'm going to be saving it for the discussion. The discussion will be at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, 10:30 p.m. Eastern time if you guys want to join in. I'll be sure to have a link to that discussion in the description below in this video. But now that the show is over, is anything going to change on this channel? So far, not exactly. Like, the name is not going to change. The main reason why not too much is going to be changing, aside from the possibility that there may not be as much Star vs. the Forces of Evil content, is because I didn't just start this channel to talk about Star vs. the Forces of Evil, and I certainly didn't start it to fanboy about the show, because I want to be, an objective a reviewer as possible. So in terms of is there going to be changes to the YouTube channel? Not all that much. I'll still be covering current events topics in the animation, film, and tech industries. I mean, as far as animation goes, there's quite a few shows on the horizon that I'm looking forward to, at least interested in checking out. Shows like Amphibia, Owl House, the Casa Grandes, shows like them I'm looking forward to. There's also quite a few events that are coming up that I really want to cover for this channel, like E3 2019. I'm not going to be covering every single company since I don't specialize in every, single company that's going to E3, but I want to do live reactions to the conferences from both Bethesda and Nintendo, since I believe those are the two companies that I have the most expertise in. I already have a special guest in place for both of those discussions. I've talked to my buddy Ross before. You might have heard in some of my previous videos, and we both want to do it together. And for the Nintendo video, I'm also planning on getting some other guests, but when plans are finalized, I'll be sure to let you guys know. And June is also the month of WWDC. That's Apple's annual developers conference, and for that one, I'll be doing a live reaction to myself. For that one in particular, I especially want to talk about if they're going to talk about things like iOS and macOS updates, since I think those are going to be the two topics that are most relevant to me. And speaking of tech, while I'm discussing it, I may as well say, I know I made a promise earlier this year that going forward, I wasn't going to talk about every single, tech product that's coming out. Like this year, I didn't talk about the new Samsung flagships. I didn't talk about the new LG flagships. I didn't talk about, the Samsung Galaxy Fold. And me personally, I think that's working really well for my channel when I stick to just talking about the tech that I personally own. Things like, I've made videos asking, how much longer the Nintendo 3DS has to go on, and I also made a video talking about the Apple TV Plus streaming service. Those kind of subjects that are more tangible to me, I feel like I have a much better grasp on, and I think they're much better for growing my channel. Because in the old days, because I'll admit, when I did those videos talking about every single camera, smartphone, tablet, computer that I heard about, those did get me views, but they really didn't earn trust from anybody. I mean, I still look back on those videos, and I I saw that they had a quite divisive like to dislike ratio. Many of those videos have way more dislikes than likes. And it's not that I'm trying to be a people pleaser. You know, if I ever want to express an opinion that isn't, you know, popular with, you know, the popular crowd or everybody else, you know, I'm going to express it, you know, just as I did with things like, you know, with Star Wars The Force of Evil Season 4. There were some episodes that I didn't like as much as the fans. So it's not that, you know, I'm trying to people please. It's just a case of I just want to stick to subjects that are much more tangible to me. And I think it helps me out too in terms of, because when I started this channel, I was kind of under this general mindset that, you know, oh well, it's tech, so I have no choice but to cover it. But as time went on, I realized that those kind of videos weren't going to help grow my channel. Well, in terms of conventions that I'm considering going to, nothing is at all finalized in terms of conventions, so I don't want to make it super final. But I do want to talk about ones that I'm considering. Not planning to go to per se just yet, but ones that I am considering. I'm considering going to conventions like Anime Expo 2019. I have a very on and off relationship with Anime Expo. I've been some years, some didn't. The last time I went was back in 2017, and yeah, that was when the con was really starting to get its reputation as the Lion Con, because it was an absolutely packed at convention. And even when I look at photographs of the 2018 Anime Expo, it seems like it's still just as crowded. But I know it's a really popular convention. I have a lot of friends that want to go to it. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of cosplayers from the animation community that want to go to AX, so that's currently on my consideration list. Another one I'm thinking about, and I know my buddy Yasmin is going to really bring this up, is D23. That's the Disney Expo that takes place in August. I think that one is kind of pricey in my range. That one I'm a little more skeptical, because on one hand I do want to go to D23 because I know, you know, it's like the Disney convention, and I'd really love to go. Like, if I can go there and cosplay as Blood Moon Marco, even though Star vs. The Force of Evil is over now, you know, the legacy of the show is definitely not going anywhere anytime soon. Just like how Gravity Falls may have not had new episodes for like a couple years now, I still think Star is going to be really greatly remembered. So D23 is also on my consideration list. Again, don't take these as absolutely final yet, but I definitely love conventions. I love going out there and meeting you guys and getting the chance to interview voice actors and creators. So I hope I could do that. And which kind of brings me into improvements that I would like to make to my own videos. So the first one, you know, since I'm talking about how I really enjoy interviewing actors and the creators of some of your favorite shows and movies, I hope that continues. I mean, as of recently, it's mainly been Star vs. The Force of Evil focused, but mainly because the crew has been doing more events as the show is wrapping up. And, you know, there have been more opportunities for me to meet them, just like when I interviewed Adam at the Long Beach Comic Expo, and when I got to interview Darren at the Blood Moon Ball event. But I hope it carries over to other actors and creators of shows down the road. I mean, even back with WonderCon 2018, even though I wasn't able to go to that convention, I remember me and Gabby talked about this idea of potentially interviewing Phil Lamar, voice actor Phil Lamar, from shows like Samurai Jack and Futurama, and unfortunately we didn't really get the chance to do that, but I'm really open to doing it. I've interviewed people who have done shows outside of Star Wars The Force of Evil, just like when we interviewed Ricky Simons from Invader Zim. And actually one of the very first creator interviews I did was back, it was one of the Long Beach Comic Conventions, I believe it was in 2017, and it was with Dave Gibbons, the co-creator of Watchmen and Kingsman. So I really hope I can do more of those in the future. The other thing I know I really should do more of is I really need to jump on to topics much faster, not, you know, just in terms of sitting around and, you know, waiting for them. Especially if I'm really sure of a topic and, you know, it's breaking news and it's pretty much all confirmed. I really want to jump on up of topics faster. I mean, a perfect example is actually my last video where I talked about the news that Invader Zim and Rocko's Modern Life were coming to Netflix. I know I could have definitely made that video a few days sooner. So going forward, I'm really going to practice jumping on topics. It may not be as smooth a transition as I like because, as I've said before in my videos now, I do actually have full-time work and an internship, so I may not be able to work quite as much on this channel, which was kind of the plan anyway, because I really want to keep this channel going, but at the same time, you know, I really do want to get into some full-time work. So it's going to be a challenge, but, you know, especially if it's a topic that, you know, I could grab, you know, pretty soon, I think that would really help. If it's something that I want to sit on and I'm not really sure about discussing, then, you know, that's more justifiable. But a lot of the time I feel like I could discuss, you know, news topics right when they come out. So that's definitely going to be something I want to work on. In terms of another possible change that's going on, in terms of what's going to happen to the logo that my sis designed for my channel, I will admit we have talked about the possibility of maybe changing the logo down the line so that it's much more of an original design. In fact, my sis has done rough drafts of what a future logo could look like. And also I think for us it would be a lot easier to get for things like copyright down the line if I want to do things like make business cards for my YouTube channel or get press passes. It may be easier to do an original logo. I will say as of right now, I don't want to get rid of the current logo as is because I don't want to make it look like, oh, I'm just pulling the plug, but Star vs. the Force of Evil is over. And like, no, that's not going to happen. And like definitely not in the immediate future per se. And so far I really do like the logo. I mean, when I first saw it, I thought that my sis got remarkably close to the style of Darren FC, and I'm honestly grown quite fond of it. So the logo is not going to be changing, at least as of right now. In the future, I'll decide on when I think is a good time to, you know, show you guys. Like, what I'll do is I'll show you guys the logo and get your input, and then we'll see if we want to go through with it. But not until at least later on in the summer. But even though Star vs. the Forces of Evil has come to a close, I mean, one, I don't want my channel to depend on, you know, like one show to keep it going. If anything, I think that's what hurts a lot of YouTube channels that just tie itself to just one video game or one TV show or one movie franchise. It's just the problem is, unless it's like a TV show, like, you know, a really long running TV show like The Simpsons or Sesame Street. Not Snicker. I don't mean to snicker. I grew up with Sesame Street myself. But my point is, unless it's like a super, super long running show, it's not exactly the most reliable thing. And that was why even when I started my channel, I wanted to dive into other topics because I have other interests aside from learning about the animation industry and studying films. You know, I've been learning about computers since I was an 8-year-old boy. There's other TV shows I watch. I mean, going into the summer, there's, you know, so many shows and TV movies that are coming. Like in my last video, I talked about the Invader Zim and Rocko's Modern Life movies. So really, even though my channel is called Blood Moon Bobby, I use that more as a way of showing my enthusiasm for one of the topics I have. It's not meant to say, you know, oh, I just watched Star vs. the Force of Evil, because I really enjoy being a person who gets into all sorts of different topics and surprising people. So yeah, I mean, that's basically it for my mid-year channel update. I will say as of now, and I don't usually bring up subscriber counts unless I hit like milestones and things like that. As Star vs. the Force of Evil ends, I'll check my YouTube Studio app one last time. I've hit 321 subscribers, which, yes, I know in the world of YouTube, 321 is, you know, a really tiny number, especially when you compare it to channels that have like 500,000 subscribers and millions upon millions. But one of the reasons I'm so thankful for Star vs. the Force of Evil, not only just in terms of entertainment, and, well, another thing is that through the show, it introduced me to its creators, and some of the fans of the show are now good friends of mine. But the other thing too is like I'm really pleased that, you know, talking about the show has helped me gain such a subscriber following. You know, before I was doing Blood Moon Bobby videos, my channel was the Kumite World channel. And partially because I, you know, wasn't as skilled at social media back then and I wasn't posting as frequently, but I wasn't gaining much of a following. Like by the time I because I started the Kumite World channel back in 2014, and with on and off posting until 2017, I only gained like 14 subscribers. So I didn't think I would gain much of a following. But in the last couple years, I've been pleasantly surprised that I've been able to gain the following that I have. I mean, I remember like when I hit 100 subscribers, like my jaw dropped. And even though Star Wars Forces of Evil is over, I'm still very optimistic of the idea that my channel is just going to continue to grow. Like, yes, Star videos did help my subscriber base, and I really want to make some more in the future. Like, if I get like fan theory ideas, or the Star Crew decides to do more events, even though the show is over. But I know that I've talked about many other topics that have also helped me, you know, gain your trust, gain subscribers, and gain lots of views. So I'm really looking forward to the future of this channel. So far, the channel as is, not too much is going to change. The main difference is that you may not see as much Star Wars Forces of Evil content because, well, the show is over. It's sad, but at the same time, I think Star had a good run. I honestly haven't been as engrossed with the TV shows since like the Avatar: The Last Airbender days. So I'm really glad. I'm really thankful for Darren Epstein and her crew for creating such an amazing show. And I'm really thankful that it introduced me to so many people on not just its production, but its fans are also some pretty cool people. So I hope you guys will join me along for the ride. This has been Blood Moon Bobby, and thank you guys for watching.